Menace. The short end of a long stick, dudes, is Menace is a good game. It's got all the bones of success, and it just needs to bulk up through early access to be able to come to full fruition there, come to life. If you came for that and from an early impressions video, there you go. That's your intel. However, if you want to stay aboard, check out some footage and talk about this game and where it's going and my impressions so far, stay aboard the impetus. Let's get to it. So for starters, my main concern isn't even if this game has the legs to go the distance in the turn-based genre. It simply does. My concern is becoming fatigued with the game during an early access period, becoming jaded to the development process and simply not returning to the game when it's more fleshed out. That's what happened to me with Phoenix Point. I loved that game, but by the time the game had hit finalization or that 1.0, I was over it. I got what I wanted out of it and couldn't return to the joy it had by the time it was finished. So let's get into phase one here, which would be combat of my early impressions. And simply put, dude, combat in Menace is awesome. There's some hiccups though, like some buildings on urban maps can just be shot straight through, but overall the combat feels great. Everything is punchy, everything has weight. Enemies feel powerful and give you reasons to exploit their positions. Menace reinforces the idea of tactical decisions tenfold for this genre. Where your soldiers are and where they move to matters. It also matters what effects can be inflicted on them or you, such as suppression or pinning, wavering, fleeing, damaging vehicles, destroying components, etc. The combat is obviously the centerpiece of this game, and the development team crushed it. Personally, my favorite touch is the ammunition system. Your soldiers all have a set amount of magazines or engagements they can conduct. You can increase this with ammo pouches and different upgrades, but gone are the damn days of wasting action points to reload. Thank God. I couldn't stand that in XCOM, I don't really like it in Xenonauts, and I'm not a huge fan of it in Phoenix Point either. It makes sense why it's there, but it ain't for me. Seriously, everything about this game, when it comes to the combat, I really enjoy. I talked about it on stream, about how weighty everything feels. I mean, just check this out. When you hit people with like a 20 mil off of a truck, it's just sick, dude.
What? Acknowledged. Kill them all!
Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, everything's weight, everything hits, everything is cool. That's badass. That feels good. Next, we should talk about phase 2 here, which is more or less what the game is. And to put it simply, the game is a series of menus followed by turn-based combat. And a lot of these menus, as of right now, don't really work together. So for instance, you have these modifications you can make to the ship, like building new rooms to gather intel, which tells you what enemy targets are on the map that you're headed into, recruiters that give you manpower, repair, med bays, and then calls for fire in the game, such as miniguns, strafing runs, rocket runs, medevac, anything like that. Other than that, you have the squad menu, which consists of upgrading your people, promoting them, changing out their equipment that they'll take into the fight. You have the black market, where you can trade for things and acquire either manpower, recruiting packets, or dossiers for pilots and infantry squads. New weapons, new armor, new vehicle systems or upgrades for your infantry. And then you have like a diplomatic side of the game that's simply building trust by doing missions on planets for these organizations and then accepting little disjointed things at the end of games. So you finish an operation And then you'll get a message like, hey, there's a monster on the ship. Do you want to spend resources to handle that or ignore it? Or you'll have, hey, they want you to deliver a spy somewhere. Oh, well, I say yes, but then there's no gameplay to that. There's just an effect. Okay, you've lost trust with this organization. You've gained trust with this organization. And right now, the diplomacy or the factions that are present in this solar system are irrelevant. They don't matter. None of it matters. And if there was anything that this game could really focus on, it would be developing those factions to mean more and have actual causal effects. Right now, you increase your trust, and they give you OCIs, or whatever you want to call them. Basically, rooms to build on your ship. And as far as I can tell, that's it. That's it. Now, granted, if your trust drops too low, maybe they don't offer you missions. If your trust gets very high, maybe you get more missions from them. But as of right now, it's a very ill-defined, and it's just kind of a thing. It feels like a lot of the menus are just tacked on to what is a really cool game. So when you start the game, you're greeted with this cutscene that explains that the command staff is dead. The ship sustained super damage coming through warp, pretty unexplained. You're the senior ranking officer who's left alive. You're some major, right? And now the operation falls on you. And the ship, when you first go to the OCI menu, is like annihilated. There's breaches all over it. They tell you that everyone's flipping dead, everybody, right? And this is where I have a little bit of a problem with suspension of disbelief, and this is kind of more of a funny comment than anything else. But what the hell are we doing? You start the game with the equivalent of the Space M1 Garand for all of your squads, and all these dudes are wearing berets and like their dress uniform. Like the only survivors of the ship are the marching band? That's who lived? Like, where's the infantry? Where's the armored groups? Where are the dudes? Like, you guys all of your helmets got jettisoned out of this ship? All of your plate carriers? All of your better weapons? All of your like magazine fed shit is just gone? We have nothing? The surviving vehicle that you start the game with is an APC with like a 50 cal on it. Cool. Why are all my infantry just a marching band? What happened? Now, I understand that it's like the gamification, right? That you start with crud gear, and you're going to increase the lethality of your guys over time. You're going to get better equipment, better guns, crew serves, all the good stuff as time goes on. I get it. I understand, right? I'm not opposed to it. This is just kind of a more or less like funny thought that I had, where I was like, who lived? Why are there's just no combat arms dudes? We just have the marching band? But that leads me into a really cool idea that I think would be that before you start the game, you would pick what major you are, right? So militaries, you're not just a major, right? I'm an intelligence officer. I'm a operations officer with a combat arms battalion. I'm an armor officer or something, right? There's something there, signals, recruitment, something. And you would be able to choose your officer prior to this, and there would be like minimum effects, right? So like, hey, I'm the operations officer for an infantry battalion. My guys start with, soft armor, or I have 2 assault rifles or something there. And then if I'm the intelligence officer, I would get, immediate radar systems on the impetus. If I'm a supply officer, maybe I have more logistical capabilities. Like I arrive with black market tradable goods off rip. Something along those lines to give not only purpose to the player, but also initiate in a different realm, right? Hey, I want to come in swinging, dude. I am the alien annihilator. I'm coming in with machine guns. Or, hey, I'm going to develop a deeper strategic layer to my gameplay because I already have intelligence ready to go. Do you see what I'm saying? That would be a really cool way to generate buy-in off rip, and also help idiots like me aid in my suspension of disbelief. Because for me, when I started, I was like, oh, I'm the marching band officer. I just play the trumpet. And I've got a couple flautists ready to go. And we're going to fight our way to the tippy top. All of that to say, it doesn't detract from the game's enjoyment at all. The game is sweet. I love that the combat isn't based on initiative or any sort of system that prevents me from using my soldiers in the order that I want to. Once you start moving a soldier, you're stuck with them. But at the beginning of the round, I can choose who is my initiation group, right? So in XCOM, for instance, if I already moved that guy, there's no moving him again until I've moved everybody else. That's not exactly how this works. I can move only one soldier, end the turn for everybody else, and at the beginning of the next turn, move that same unit again. And that's sweet, because you can decide when it's important for these soldiers to get into the fight. And a lot of the systems for the turn-based game feel like Star Wars Legion, which is like a tabletop game. I'm gonna be honest with you, I just want to play that game. I haven't actually gotten to. It just looks sweet. I like their rules, where it's this you go, I go system, and then you have suppression, and you have all of these different systems to go. It looks fun. And I'll tell you, actualized into a video game like Menace, it's dope. It's dope. I really like it. And really, in summary here, this game rocks. This game rocks. But my worry, and what made this video come to life, is that I am afraid that I am going to become fatigued in early access to where when this game hits 1.0, I don't want to play it anymore. I'm done. I got my fill, and I'm moving on. That worries me. I don't like that. I want to enjoy this game, but the only solution for that is to stop playing it in early access. That's it, right? It's the only way to prevent myself, for instance, from getting burned out on a title like this. I've already sustained that issue with Phoenix Point, and I don't really want to do that again. I'm under the impression that a lot of gamers feel the same way, is that we love these games, we enjoy these games, but they spend so much time in early access that you burn out on it. And the joy that is the game kind of melts away in that. And that's a shame. So regardless, if you're looking for a turn-based game that's going to be able to kind of scratch a new itch and a fun game, Menace is it. Menace is it. But I would caution everyone to be weary of where this ends up. How long are we going to be in early access? Are we going to burn ourselves out on it early? I don't know. And I don't want that. However, I want to support these developers. The game is $40 on sale off bat for about $30. And that's pretty good. I think it's worth $30. I don't know how I would feel paying $40 for this game. I really don't. I can't tell you that I would be excited to pay $40 for individualized systems that allow me to take different JPEGs into a fight, right? I don't know if I'm paying $40 for it. However, I want to support these developers, and I would love to see this game grow. And I haven't seen a roadmap yet. Maybe there is one for early access, but I'm excited to see where this game develops. And I hope you are too. I would just caution you, don't burn out early on early access. Pretty much the end of my video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. I know I've been AWOL for a little bit. I will continue to stream when I can. My schedule is bonkers, but I was live last night, and I'll be live again tonight. And if you're watching this video after the release day, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You'll see the VODs though, right? You'll be there. I know you will be. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Come and stay a while, you know? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. whatever you thought about Menace. Maybe you haven't played it yet. Maybe you're kind of on the edge, or maybe you haven't heard about it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Link to the Twitch is in the description. I'm also live on YouTube when I stream. Thanks, guys. And I will see you somewhere around the impetus, maybe. Maybe. Goodbye.